Hey everybody, and welcome to your favorite 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Eastern Seaboard with an American and a Canadian live stream. All four of you that are watching. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and with me, as always, is my brother from another mother, James from Print N Play
Hello.
Retrospective. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, you can run more than one YouTube channel at a time.
Speaking of which, when are we seeing more garage content?
Well, Uncle Ron and I filmed this week. I don't know if I necessarily did a great job filming it because I was kind of more worried about getting the job done, but I think there's enough there to use it. Otherwise, there is still Fummins content coming, so I got to be able to have the energy to sit and edit. Along with no energy comes no ambition or creativity, sadly. So. Let me run down the chat real quick. Alan Osborne was first, so he gets bragging rights. Brian is here. Ollie is here. I don't know who. Oh, we're up to 6 now. I don't know who's hiding in the background. But Brian said we should really make it 4:34, not 4:30. The problem is if it was 4:34, we wouldn't get on until 4:38. And I was on time today, exactly 4:30. So
That's what I'm saying. Is it? Well, except for my clock seems to be synced with their clock, so I don't know.
Well, mine is synced with Microsoft's NTP server.
So it's mine.
So
I don't know why there's a 3 or 4 minute disparity between us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because my phone says 4:36, but my computer says 4:32. Now I did just reboot it for updates, so I would have thought that it would have.
Have you ever double checked to make sure that it's got the tick mark for the set time automatically?
I can absolutely do that right this second. Set time automatically.
It's already checked?
Yep.
Mine shows 4:36, January 15th, 2023.
4:33, Sunday, January 15th, 2023.
You're running Windows
10.
10? Okay.
10.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit the... Oh, yeah, because here it says that the last successful time synchronization was September 18th. Why would it not update in 4 months?
Mine shows that it synced today at 10 a.m.
Well, mine is synchronized now, and it is 4:37. Woo! Now the stream is even shorter.
I'm surprised because we've had this conversation how many times that I've never been like, hey, maybe go double check to make sure that the sync is good.
It's just really weird that it wouldn't sync. I mean, it is set to Microsoft's time server. I should change it to something else. But even so, was it not even trying?
Well, if it hasn't synced since September, do you shut this computer down when you're not using it?
Nope.
There's no good reason then. Like I thought,
nope.
Maybe it's been offline during the before 4 times.
I don't know. Like it doesn't shut down. It doesn't go to sleep. I turn the monitors off. Otherwise, it runs. I do that with all my computers. Their time servers are a little funky. Try sending it to the government server, not Microsoft. Yeah, I'll look into a different server, but
we don't send anything to the government. They get enough as it is.
Yeah, they just take.
My painting space is still blocked off, so I'm not getting as much light over here. I'm a little dim.
Well, that's all right. I only have these lights on, so I'm a little dim.
Dim sum.
It's under the automatic things. It's like time.gov. Yeah, I'll look into it. It's weird though, because I mean, I don't think I have any issues on my other machines. So I guess the big question is my mom going to call during the stream today?
Oh, I hope so. It's good to have a shtick.
I really want to figure out how to take phone calls live on the air. Because Fun King has a phone number. I've never given it out, but Fun King has a phone number. and it's like area code prefix king. So if anybody wants to try to find it, you just go for it. There's only how many millions of combinations there, but I will tell you the prefix is not 555.
Oh, we just eliminated like a bunch of them now.
I mean, usually the only calls that I get to that number are wrong numbers. And I can't really give the details of the stories because it would give away where the number is. But if I can figure out how to take phone calls live on the air, then I would distribute that number. I just have to figure out how to screen them first to know that it's like a legitimate call before we punch them up on the air.
Yeah, you don't want to be like one of those calls, one of those like the live reporting things where they ask a guy a question and he says something really inappropriate.
Right, exactly.
You probably know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it'd be neat if you could do like a 30-second dump button like they do on the radio, but we just don't have that kind of technology.
Or importance.
Right. Florida time goes slower. Sometimes. So I woke up this morning, it was 29 degrees outside. I was in shorts yesterday.
Was it actually 29 degrees?
It was 29 degrees when I woke up this morning.
That's chilly.
Yeah. 29 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, so we got this lovely little cold snap that came in overnight. So Brian said, "Go get a burner phone just for that." No, I have a legitimate. It's a Google Voice number is what it is, and it rings to my phone, and when it comes to me, it comes in the caller ID comes in as Fun King 3D. So then I answer it, Fun King 3D. This is Glenn. How can I help you? And most of the time, it's I think I dialed the wrong number.
And you're like, well, you got me now, so figure it out.
One guy called one time and left me a voicemail, and I don't remember the details of the voicemail, but it was I suffer from social anxiety and I have a really hard time answering the phone and I have a really hard time making phone calls. But this message, like the message that he left, felt not important, but like somebody's safety was at risk, like I don't know how to describe it, but it was it just didn't seem good that the guy left the message for the wrong number. So I actually called him back and I'm like, "Hey, is this whatever his name was?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "You just left me a message on my phone, but you definitely dialed the wrong number. And I just thought you should know that so that you can reach the right party." And he's like, "Oh, I really appreciate it."
Spoiler alert, he did not appreciate it.
No. Well, and then one guy called me and asked me if he could pick up the items that he won at auction, if I would just leave him outside the door because he's already paid. And I gotta say, at first I thought, I'm just gonna tell this guy, yeah. He's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm only like about 25 minutes away from you. Could you just leave the stuff outside the door and I'll grab it? I've already paid for it." And I wanted to be like, "Yeah, that's fine." But I didn't. I said, "No, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number."
And then he's like, "I will end you."
Mark said, "Wasn't me." No, I
haven't on the counter.
I haven't had a reason to release that number.
All you need is one good reason.
Yeah, just one. I'm just one call away.
I'll be there to save the day.
Is
that what you're going for?
Superman's got nothing on me. Yes, and for those of you who are interested, I am continuing my Christmas light controller build.
I'm cleaning up so I can work on something else. I can't work on the thing I'm most need to get done because it's a surprise.
You should set up like a little barrier in front so that we can see like just your head, but we can't see what you're working on.
Just do like this. I just
It's Project Talk, not Project Show Off.
I just do like
Oh, you showed just a little glimpse of it. You better be careful.
yep.
You're gonna mess around and give it away. Oh.
No, yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta.
Yeah, I was gonna get my big microscope, my magnifying glass mounted out here today so that I could
Give close-ups.
well, so I could see.
That's fair.
But today was the first day that I felt good enough to start taking down Christmas lights. I mean, that's 2 weeks now that they've been sitting out there not doing anything. 2 weeks of extra sunshine on them is never a good thing.
Ain't no sunshine. That's as far as we can go. We don't want to get anything demonetized.
That's right. I need that 12 cents. So
12
what is everybody else working on? Chat's very quiet today, guys. Let's only 6 people watching. So I guess we can start this discussion about all the changes that are about to happen around here.
That is true.
I'm quitting. I'm not doing it anymore. And James said if I leave, he leaves. So we're selling it off. We have a corporate sponsor. Elon Musk is going to buy it. No.
for 40 billion.
Heck, I'd let it go for just 1 billion.
I'm gonna clear this off my table, but I'm worried that people are gonna see it. So give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. Because I mean,
it got a little closer than I wanted it to there.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would realize what it was, but I absolutely could see the top of it.
Only you would realize.
No, James and I are talking about possibly moving the stream to another day. He's got some work related
potential stuff, yeah.
Things, yeah. And I actually wouldn't mind opening up my Sunday afternoons for doing garage work. So I don't know if we should have a poll. I mean, there's not a lot of people in here right now to get their opinion, but I guess you guys are the diehard people because you're the people that showed up when nobody else did. It just seems like our audience is slowly dragging off. I mean, we used to have 20 people watching, and then it was like less and less. And I know coming out of the new year, it's always going to be a little slower, but we just feel that maybe a different time slot would be better.
And we're going to make structural changes and take it from just being a straight up live stream to something that's it's going to have some more structure to it, some more elements. The conversation stuff is obviously going to be there, but we're going to do a little more to drive conversation instead of just showing up and being like, "Hey, how's it going, everybody?"
Yeah. We thought maybe you guys would like maybe some topics and
segments and whatnot.
Some things like that. So maybe we don't do this all by the seat of our pants, and rather we get to.
So one of the things I was thinking, there's no reason to keep this secret either, because it's good to get feedback as we're going. Glenn and I haven't talked about this in depth yet. I'm just actually going to take this off so I can be on the camera. Glenn and I have not.
We usually throw everything out live.
That's true. So Glenn and I haven't talked in depth about this, but I was thinking it would be good to have a segment of Project Showcase. So Glenn and I see cool projects pop up during the week usually. It's not every week, but I thought it'd also be good to get an email address going, or using one of the existing email addresses, so people that watch the show that want to have their project shown off can email us about it. send us pictures and a bit of info on it, and we can showcase a little bit of it every week. That way you guys are doing the work and we aren't. No, just kidding.
Yeah, that way you guys can spoon feed us more on a regular basis. No, because I mean this truly is supposed to be project talk.
Yeah.
And we never really get to talk about your guys' projects because we never get to see them.
And we never do enough to have 2 hours of talking about our own projects anyways. I've been working on the same project since the end of November, for example.
Sorry, I thought that was a welding helmet, but it's not. It's just glasses. I absolutely went to flip that down like a welding helmet. But no, it'll be like a weekday in the evening, and we don't know time wise. I get done with work at 3:00 in the afternoon typically.
I'm usually home around between 5 and 6. So if I'm factoring a quick bite, like 6:30 is probably the earliest I could roll it.
And that would actually be all right. 6:30 to 8:30.
I think that would be.
As long as it wasn't on a Wednesday. Wednesday's the only day that I have something that I have to do in the evening.
So generally speaking,
not a taxi, but
day that would work best for me. Not that this is the only day that works, because there's flexibility, but like just off the top of my head, Thursdays I usually work from home, so it's easier for me to sneak in a meal before we stream.
Yeah.
There is flexibility, but like I'm not set to a specific day. And
well, Thursday wouldn't be so bad because it's right before the weekend. So
yeah, I talked to Kay and she's like, well, Friday would be her least favorite day because Friday night you might plan to do something or whatever. It's the start of the
Friday
weekend.
nights are usually the nights that the family and I do things.
Yeah.
So Brian said just to let you guys know, if you plan on doing this before 8, I'm never going to be there on the weekdays. Yeah, we can't do it after 8. I'm way too old for that.
Yeah. I mean, we could do 7 to 9, so there's a bit of an overlap, but I think 9 is the latest I would want to run it.
Yeah, mainly because the next day's a work day and I have to be asleep by 10 because I'm usually up at 5 the next morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 7 to 9 wouldn't be bad. 7 to 9 on a Thursday night. So, and again, I mean, we're just kicking this around. We don't know. Sundays always worked years ago. Like it was a time slot that I had randomly picked, and it worked really well. And a lot of people showed up to the stream, and then Chris Riley quit, and
everything is Chris's fault.
No, it because James had asked me today if I had ever considered a different day or if I'm absolutely sold on Sundays, and I had just kept the Sunday slot after Fun in the Country Basement stopped, because that was my stream time before those streams. That was when I always streamed, and it just worked well. Because people were generally off on Sundays, and how about Saturday? No, absolutely not. I will not do it on a Saturday. That's 100% my garage day. So can't do Saturdays. I can't give up. Fun King garage time to do this. So work schedules aren't a thing. Well, but not everybody is off on Saturday either. Some people do work on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't know. I know that we can't. I mean, there's just not going to be a way to cater to all. And then we also have to think about the people across the pond as well. Because the later we go, the way later it is for them. So I don't know. again, not set in stone. You know, we just like to be completely transparent with you guys. And as we kick things around. Sorry, I was reading at the same time.
No, that's fair.
But no, I can't. I definitely cannot move it to Saturdays. Oh, so I was fortunate enough to get to put some diesel fuel in the old truck yesterday. Got me a half a tank for $100 Renos.
What a...
I really considered filling it. I really did. It's not that the money's not sitting there, but the kids like to eat food like every day.
Yeah.
And so then as I'm pumping the gas and the amount is going up and up and up, I thought, no, I can't fill it. Trying to read these chips using my phone, but it won't.
Yeah, I don't think Saturdays would ever work either. Brian had said, why not make Sundays the garage time? But from my side, I don't think Saturdays would ever work. So
Sunday can't be garage time because I do church in the morning. So half my day is already gone.
it can't be the dedicated day.
Right.
Could be editing time in the evening though. But I will be back in 2 seconds. I have to put a second coat of clear coat on something.
Something that nobody else gets to see. Yeah, I'm just trying to read these chips, and then there's a substitution sheet because both of these look exactly the same. I forgot I can punch you guys over here. So I'm dealing with this type of packaging, and one is a voltage regulator, and the other one is a TO220. I guess they're both regulators. Oh, one's a 5-volt regulator and one's a 10-volt regulator. So obviously, if you got those backwards, that would be bad. This one is an LM7805, which is going to be Q16. And then just to confirm, all right. This one is a 7810, which is probably the 10-volt, right? One's a 7805 and the other one is a 10. Yeah, and that's Q17. So my camera was tired of waiting on me and shut off anyway. So why is Glenn wearing 2 glasses? Because I'm blind as a bat. My close vision is absolutely terrible. So once in a while, I got to double up to see the small stuff. Uncle Ron gave me these really great. Yeah, go get your magnifying lens so you don't go blind. Uncle Ron gave me these really great magnifying lenses, but the problem is I use them all the time, and so I don't have them out here. I have them in the house. I need to get a second set of them so I can have a pair out here. And I have a big desk mount magnifying glass that I was going to get mounted in today, but I worked on Christmas lights instead. I hate putting up and taking down. It's like a massive cleaning job, and it just sucks. But it's got to get done. Let's see.
Ain't that the truth?
Put this up on.
I'm just trying to find my multimeter before I come back over because I need to test some voltages on something. And as for the usual, I have no idea where anything is.
Got to work on the digitals, huh?
Yep. Otherwise, how will I know if the lightning whirler should be working?
That's right. Speaking of, I got the pleasure of buying a new battery for Xander's car this weekend.
the shocking conclusion.
I told you guys I got pulled over by the police, right? Did I tell that
You-
story last week?
I believe you did.
Because the tag lights were out on the car.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So, I mean, that was all fine and dandy. But when we went to drive away, because I went to speed off and outrun the cops, no, when it was all done and over with, and I go to start the car back up, it kind of hesitated to start, but not enough where I thought it was really a concern. Because when you shut that car off, the headlights stay on until you get out of the car, which is kind of dumb. But
Mine does that too.
so the headlights have been on the whole time that we were sitting there, and so I didn't really think much of it. And then I got a call. No, Friday. Friday, Xander and I took the car to go to lunch, and no issues while we were out. And then I got a call Friday afternoon from the wife. She had gone to get Zach from school, and while she was waiting on him, she had shut the car off, and she had the key still on so she could listen to the radio. And I'm sure the headlights were on at that time because it was a little overcast out. And she went to leave and nothing. So I went up with my jump box, which, by the way, if you guys ever need a jump box, I shouldn't say it that way. You need a jump box. I don't even carry jumper cables anymore because this box is so amazing. But it's the NOCO, N-O-C-O, and I paid good money for it because I got the one that'll start a 6-liter diesel engine. But that thing absolutely just starts whatever. In fact, Uncle Ron's other truck was sitting for so long the battery was completely dead. They couldn't get it to jump off of a plug-in charger with start capability, nor the neighbor's jump box. And he came and picked up mine and started his immediately. So if you guys are looking for a good jump start box, NOCO, N-O-C-O. In fact, I have their battery charger too. But so I had to drive up to Zach's school, which is just like 10 minutes away or whatever. And of course, put the jump box on and boom, car started right up and everything was fine. So then I have to think about what day it is. Everything's a blur. That's what happens when you take 4 naps a day. Yesterday, we had a guy come from the homeowners insurance company to do a house inspection for the new policy. And so I was kind of waiting on him, and I was working on my mom's lawnmower. And then after that, I went to pull the car into the garage to finally replace the tag lights, because the police officer was nice enough to tell me they weren't working. And I went to start the car, and it barely started. Like it was weak. It was super weak. So I just pulled the battery, went and bought a new one. And car batteries are stupid expensive for what they are. It was still under warranty, but it was under the prorated part of the warranty by like 3 months. And so they'd only give me $30 back on a $120 battery. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But I didn't care because I didn't actually pay for the first one. It was in the car when I bought it. Getting ahead of myself here. I'm not looking at my sheet.
Can't find the darned multimeter.
That's why you have to have more than one.
Well, I have 2, and I can't find either of them.
Yeah, I picked up a cheapie off of Amazon a while back. I'm trying to think what the brand of that was, and it's a really nice meter. Like the one that I had, well, the original one I had was an old Radio Shack meter, Micronta. So that should tell you how old that was, because Radio Shack didn't have Micronta meters for forever. But I cooked it somehow, and not by hooking up the ammeter, because that's usually how you cook them.
Yep, that'll usually do it.
But
missed the notch by that much.
that was only the 10 amp spot. I thought that was the 30 amp spot. But then I picked up one just for general usage, and it's okay, but it wasn't great, and I really needed to be able to test capacitors for fixing like home air conditioning and stuff, appliances, that kind of stuff. So like big capacitors, and I found this one. Trying to see if it's even still available.
I saw it like not so long ago. I was like, oh, there it is. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I remember that's where I saw it. I don't remember where that was. Don't it always seem to go?
Yes, of course. Well, again, you find stuff and then you're like, oh, I should put that over here so I remember where it is. Yeah, so there you guys. There's an affiliate link if you guys are looking for a multimeter. And that doesn't help James right now, but
you know what helps James? Absolutely nothing.
28 bucks for that little guy, and it's my go-to meter. One of these days I'll be able to afford a Fluke, but I mean honestly I wouldn't really spend the money on a meter like that. Like it just doesn't. If I used it every day professionally, then maybe, but
might consider. Where is that darned thing?
Speaking of capacitors.
Well, if I can't find it again in another minute or so, I'll just give up on the. I'll just go and order 4 or 5 of them off Amazon.
One for every room, even the bathroom.
Especially the bathroom.
Got to check that capacitance. Speaking of capacitances,
flux capacitance.
I think that's what's wrong with my microwave.
Your microwave?
My microwave, yeah. It started this thing now where when you go to use it, like it used to just kind of wig out once in a while and like reset itself like it was just plugged into the wall. Like, welcome to your new microwave. And I would unplug it for, just a few hours or whatever, plug it back in, and then everything was fine for months. Well, now as soon as you touch any of the buttons, it resets like you unplugged it. So I'm thinking that
that seems less than useful.
Yeah. I'm thinking the big capacitor crapped in it. So I stole the microwave out of here, but it's small and only a 900 water. So, and mine's like an over the range and 1100 water. Well, now it's a 0 water because it won't cook anything. But yeah, I'm gonna order a capacitor for that. I mean, I know I could open it and test the one that's in there, but I don't know if anybody in the audience has ever worked on microwaves. There's not many things in this world that scare the hell out of me, but that is one of them.
That does it for you?
Yeah, microwaves have got some voltage in them, even after they've been unplugged for a while.
They can and will kill you.
Brian said, so the multimeter, you put the link, Glenn, does that do a lot of the important stuff that you want a multimeter to do? It does everything that I want it to do. It will check for contactless power. The little nub on the top, you can stick it up to an outlet and it'll tell you if it's live. The only thing that I don't like is, so typically when you turn the crank on a multimeter, you put it into whatever mode that you want by the crank. But with this one, like, so say you want to measure voltage, you turn the dial to voltage, but then you have to push the function until you get AC or DC or whatever. So it's like it's kind of 2 steps. So you really got to pay attention. You can't just flip the meter, crank the dial to where you want it to be. But and then the fact that it does temperature too. So like if you're working on automotive AC, or I guess even house AC, but I don't know, just for $28, it's turned out to be a heck of a meter. And I've had it now. Well, let's see. I bought it in September of 19. So
It's on sale in Canada right now for 36% off. I can get it for $32 Canadian.
yeah, it's 31% off in the US, $28. Plus, there's a $13 coupon right now that you can apply to that. Holy crap!
I saw that because I almost bought it through there, but then it was $14 shipping.
Whoa!
So you're saying this one also tests capacitors?
It does test capacitors, yes, sir.
It tests their capacitance. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and treat myself to something that's gonna show up way after I need it.
At the point that I'm picking it up for $17, I'm buying myself a second one. I'm glad I pulled that up. Because like right now, I mean, it's not so bad because I keep it with my electrical tools in the garage, so it's right there. But when I was upstairs, I didn't have this meter upstairs. I had the crappier one upstairs. So, but well, I hope we don't run them out of stock before everybody gets one. But yeah, for $17, that's hard to. And I'll have it tomorrow. 1-day shipping.
I will have mine tomorrow as well.
Brilliant.
Good enough. Good stuff. Man, wasn't the new season of Letterkenny just so good?
How do I say this without hurting anybody's feelings? I don't think it was one of their better seasons.
I thought it was good until the very last episode of the season. I thought the last episode of the season was very weak.
Well, I kind of watched it while I was working, so I wasn't like necessarily paying 100%. But I don't recall a time through the whole thing that I like belly laughed, and there might have been.
I got a chuckle out of the final part of the filming where the Amish guy comes in.
Oh,
was warning them?
anytime. Yeah. Anytime Anita and her husband.
Yeah.
Okay, they're funny. But I don't know. I don't think it was one of their better seasons, and it just seems really short. Was it 6 episodes?
It was they've all been, I think, 6 or 7 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought last year, oh, they only did 6 seasons. It must have been a COVID thing. And then checked and like, oh no, it's been 6 and 7 episodes per season. But they usually do 2 seasons a year.
Yeah. It just seems like, because they've gone corporate now. Duff says he's been using the same meter since 2001. Good old Wave Tech.
My other meter still works fine. It's a Next Tech.
Just can't find it.
Just can't find it. Now that I've ordered the new one. Actually, I wouldn't. If I went and look now, I wouldn't find it. But if I wait until it's like you can't cancel the shipment, then I would find it within 2 seconds, and it would be someplace I already looked.
Were you not able to apply the coupon to yours?
No. I could have ordered from the US and applied the coupon, but then it was $14 shipping for a $13 coupon.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
And the shipping would have taken like a week or 2, whereas ordering through Canada.
Yeah, you wish it was a week or 2.
Yep. Yep. I don't think I have a USB cable to. This project is getting a ESP8266 in it.
Okay.
But I don't think I have a USB cable to, because I'd like to do a little bit of coding.
Well, they do work better with code.
Yep. Coding. I look
right.
forward to this project being finished and me being able to. Well, I'm going
Do,
to say that I'm going to
do
get things
something else.
It is, I think, going to be an impressive project to me and about 2 other people probably. I I was gonna say, so I was joking and I was like, I don't know if anybody, if it'll ever be like I don't know if there'll ever be another one that exists, but now there's 2 of them, so they both belong
Right.
to me presently.
All right. So now you tell me that your Prusa Mini is working.
Yep. My
How's your?
CR10's broken though.
What's that?
My CR10 is broken now though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the bed probe, the wire going into it is no longer functioning properly.
No longer attached.
It is, but like it gets, it's not what's the word I'm trying to say here? It's intermittent. There's a break in the cable. So if I hold it just right, I can get it to finish doing a bed probe before before it starts printing, but if I don't get it just right, then it's bad times. And
Well, I won an award for just that kind of problem.
did you know?
I won the crappiest print award because of the FK1's broken wire.
Well, you do have the crappiest prints. I will give you that.
So, but no, what I was going to ask is how is your Prusa doing?
It completed a bunch of prints successfully this week. The bed still sounds a little bit noisier than I think it should, but like I have definitely not over tightened on those bearings. You know what I mean? I tightened down until like just to the point where it was no longer wiggling. If I
Okay.
rocked the bed on the thing, so I don't know. Maybe maybe my thought process for how loud or quiet it should be is too high. But
Yeah, mine's always been noisy. But I didn't know any better when I bought it. Like, I mean, that's just what it sounded like. So the only thing I had to compare it to is the ANET A8, and it's hard to hear the A8 over the flames.
that sounds like the most Canadian printer ever, eh? The ANET A8, eh?
ANET A8.
The A is for awesome.
The A is for arson.
Oh, not bad. Got a laugh out of me.
You know why those printers are so cheap, right? So you still have money left over to buy a fire extinguisher. No, that's not really fair. I've never had a problem with mine.
Yeah, but you wouldn't recommend it to somebody else who didn't know what
Nope,
they were doing.
because I upgraded the crap out of that thing. All the wire is like twice the size it was factory, and
There's MOSFETs attached to other MOSFETs.
yes, MOSFETs running MOSFETs, and string
Technically,
release.
that's correct.
What's that?
Technically, MOSFETs running MOSFETs is correct, right? Because you've got the one built onto the board running into an external one.
Correct.
Solder up to date. Add some more solder.
I'm going to be a
Hooray.
pro solderer by the time I'm done with this. You know, I don't really solder all that often, and usually when I do, it's just soldering wires together, like, you know, automotive projects or whatever.
Yep.
I don't do a lot of board soldering. And so every once in a while, I think to myself, well, I should pick up one of those little project kits, you know, just to keep my skills there. Because I am professionally trained. This was part of my schooling. But then I look at the kits and I think to myself, well, one, they're not worth the money that they're charging. And two, what am I going to do with that stupid project kit when it's done? So,
give it to your kids.
well, I need to give it to my kids and make them learn how to solder.
Well, there you go. That's even better. Then you don't have to do anything. I will say buying a higher quality soldering iron or soldering station is the smarter thing that I did. I was running off $14 Radio Shack specials for the longest time.
I agree with that. Glenn Hogue has joined us. Hello, Glenn. Oh, good thing I had safety goggles on. That they hit me right in the glasses.
I can't quite get this to sit where it'll sit flush because the roll that's on keeps falling flat. It's just addressable LEDs.
Always make sure you wear your PPE.
There's Glenn bragging about the size of his PPE again.
I'm absolutely terrible about wearing safety glasses and hearing protection. I mean, I talk about it all the time, and in some of the videos you'll see me do it, but that's because I know I'm videoing.
Yep.
But I'm absolutely terrible about putting it on. Now I did get, and I don't know if I shared this. I know I told Uncle Ron when he was here, but I did get a set of those bone conducting headphones for Christmas.
I think you might have mentioned that last week.
Got a killer deal on them on Black Friday. I got the actual, I forget the name of the company, but the name brand ones.
Jawbone?
No, you're gonna make me look it up, aren't you?
I'm not gonna make you do anything, but you'll do it anyways.
Yeah. Because the name brand ones were like $85 and the off-brand ones were like $40. And Uncle Ron had sent me the link to the off-brand ones. And so I thought, well, for $40, I'll give them a try. But the more I read the reviews, more people were like, they only lasted a month and the batteries went bad, or, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that then.
I don't need that kind of mess in my life.
Right. Shocks, SHOKZ, Shocks, open move. So they are typically $80, $79.99. And I got them. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying. I got them for $45. So, yay me. So I thought that was pretty good deal, and then I went ahead and went for it, and they're pretty amazing. So being that they come in around the ear and they sit on your skull bone, you can still hear them. Like if you're standing next to somebody who's wearing them, you can hear them. Or if you take them off your head and you're just holding them in your hand, they still resonate enough where you can hear audio, but the camera won't be able to pick it up, which was the important part. But I can also put in earplugs, like the foam earplugs.
Yep.
So I can wear hearing protection while using power tools and things that I should be wearing hearing protection for, but still have music on, and the camera won't pick that up, which means I won't get demonetized once I get monetized.
Putting the cart before the horse.
For anybody who's thinking about being a YouTuber,
don't
just find something else to do. I mean, it's got its benefits. Don't get me wrong. So my new favorite now, because for whatever reason I don't get the rude comments, at least not yet. I mean, I'm sure they'll come. I've gotten a few that were questionable on 3D, but nothing on the garage. Usually the stuff on the garage channel will be people who are telling me what the problem is.
Yep.
And you can tell that they told me what the problem was midway through the video, because by the end I've already fixed it.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I'm not looking for help to diagnose it. I've already fixed it, or it wouldn't be a video. So
I don't share my failures with you, only my successes. I'm trying to find. I need a micro SD cable.
I don't have failures. Ever.
Are you a micro SD cable? Probably not.
Yeah, the video that I did with Uncle Ron this week. It was funny because I've never filmed a video with somebody else there other than Sean. Or like if my next door neighbor comes in while I'm already filming.
Right.
But this one, like, I filmed 100%. I filmed the intro and the outro and stuff with him standing there, which was weird to me. It was weird to, film in front of a live studio audience.
And how did it go?
It went fine. It's just like you got to kind of have a different frame of mind when somebody else is watching you do it. And then I would say something to him and he'd go, "Oh, I thought you were talking to the camera." I'm like, Well, I'm filming, but no, I'm talking to you, you know. So.
And then you'd call him an idiot and he get hurt and you'd have to stop filming for a little bit to try and patch things up. And
No, I did
even
call him a Sasquatch. You have to wait for the video for that, but Tom Lama has slid in and said, hello, Print and Play and Fun King 3D yellow filament people. Oh, and Sergio is here as well. Slid in earlier. I didn't see you. I'm sorry, Sergio. That's what happens when I actually have a project to work on, is I miss what's going on in the chat.
You know,
I can't convince my kid to sit out here and read chat.
On most days, I couldn't find a USB-C cable if I needed one. But today, all I'm finding is USB-C because I need a micro USB.
Well, make sure you put the USB-C cables where you'll remember where they are.
I've already forgotten.
So I organize my cables by throwing them all in a cardboard box under my desk.
Okay, I found one. Guess where it was? It was in a box under my desk.
Under your desk. Marked USB USB cables.
Oh, that'd be smart if I marked it. Okay, and then it's the world's shortest USB cable.
Yeah, so the insurance inspector guy, we get upstairs because he's got to see the air conditioning, air handler, and the water heater and whatever. And as soon as we get upstairs, he takes like 2 seconds to look around. He goes, "You're an IT guy, aren't you?" I'm like, "Oh, what gave me away?" So you should have seen it when it was also my YouTube studio.
Your camera's freezing up just a little bit. Just
Mine is?
Yep.
It's still doing it, or was it a one-time shot?
It's not freezing, but the resolution looks subpar.
Oh, let me do a quick speed check and see if Comcast is bending me over once again.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, this is brilliant. I'm getting a massive 75 megabits down. I have gigabit service, for those that don't know. It's like about 70, 69.38. And upload is 22, just half of what it should be.
Perfect.
Way too much. Perfect. Of course, my kid might be doing stuff up there too. I don't know. I might need to reevaluate all of my network through here. Now that I've checked cabling and stuff, but I might need to check it again.
I thought.
Well, you thought wrong.
Probably. I thought there was a built-in example for WS2812 addressable LEDs. I just want to make sure stuff's working before I start getting into more complicated stuff. I'll just Google it quick.
Duff said that's all wrong. Got to put stuff where you won't look first. Kill the OnlyFans feed stream. I seen a news article in my feed. I think it was yesterday that the University of Florida, go Gators, is encouraging the students to not use TikTok. They've already banned it on all of their devices, but now they're encouraging the students to not use it, because of security reasons. They say that it's students are putting themselves at risk for putting their data out there. And I'm thinking, why is it taking everybody this long? And I know a lot of you use TikTok, but I also know a lot of you use TikTok without ever reading the user agreement that you agreed to be able to use that garbage. But they can actually, like, you give them rights. When you install that on your phone, you give them rights to all of your photos, all your videos, your fingerprint, your facial scan, all kinds of stuff. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, yeah, I don't really care. But you should care. You should care a lot because you're giving it to the Chinese government. Glenn Hope said, I had a job yesterday where the link from the router to the core switch was 100 megabits. And when the remote engineer nailed it up to 1G, the link dropped. Turned out to be a bad cable, pin 7 or 8 open. He terminated it, and that fixed the problem. Yeah, I've run cable. So the way my system works, everything's in the house. It's upstairs. Cable modem's there. Runs through my router. Cable modem goes to the router. Router goes to a switch. The router also then breaks out into fiber optic. Runs out here to the garage. The router supports fiber. What is it? SPF? SPF. And then out here it hits a converter, go from fiber to copper. And then from there it goes into a switch. Runs across here. This is Cat 5e. So it probably should be updated. But then it comes around to another switch so that I can break out for all this stuff and then to the machine. And I've tried running directly from that switch. And sometimes it tests fine, and other times it's just garbage. So small format pluggable. SFP. Oh yeah, SPF is your sunscreen. Duff said, I hear TikTok in China restricts underage accounts to educational related clips in daily time limits. Actually, from what I understand, all social media in China is all pushes very positive things. Like, you can be better. You can advance in life. Like it's encouraging to their population because, they want to be better than everybody else. And then, social media here in the United States is, look, I can eat a Tide Pod. And in fairness, I'm addicted to Instagram Reels. I watch a lot of Instagram Reel feeds, but I have it pretty much tuned to car-related stuff and cat videos. Love cat videos. All right. Tom Lama said, I agree with you on TikTok. Don't use it. But honestly, if someone wants to steal my identity, they can have it. Yeah, but that causes so much problems. Nobody really should ever want your identity stolen. I believe that I am nearing the end. I might even be done today.
Oh my!
I'm on the last sheet, last page.
You have an additional hour too.
Well, there's still the installing it all in the box.
That's next year's problem.
Good old controller number 8. Make sure those are close. Yeah, I might have to wiggle those a little bit, but yeah, it was it took a lot of oomph to get up and go outside and start taking down Christmas lights, and then I only worked on it for maybe an hour and a half. Putting the stuff away. I mean, getting it out, you just grab it and go. And you make a big pile out in the yard, and then you put everything where it goes. Putting it away sucks more because, like certain things have to be wrapped up in bags, and so once somebody stole my identity, they tried to return it. No, the closest I got, knock on simulated wood, was I had some fraudulent charges on my Discover card, which happened from Harbor Freight. I went into Harbor Freight to pick up some stuff one day, and their credit card machine was down, and the only card that I had that could be knuckle busted was my Discover card. And I don't typically use my Discover card. And like 3 days after that, all of a sudden there was all these fraudulent Google charges for like Google Play Store to my Discover card. And I called Discover, and they immediately removed it all and sent me a new card and wished me on my way. And so now my Discover card is my card of choice because those guys were awesome. And it's got like a $50,000 limit on it, so I can just buy whatever I want. That's a lie. It doesn't really.
All those people that blew all their money before Y2K because the computers were all going to forget everything, and then they didn't.
Right? Yeah.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I remember. All right, so fuses are in. Oh, I got to install voltage selector or voltage. We want 120 volts here in the United States.
Freedom voltage.
Freedom volts.
Include library. Is it going to be here now? It is, maybe.
And then it looks like the only thing I have left is the big transformer. Transformers, more than meets the eye. So when I was a kid and Transformers came out, I got on the GoBot train. For whatever reason, I seen GoBots first. And then I seen Transformers, and I thought, oh, that's a knockoff of GoBots. And I bought GoBots. And I still have. I have the tank and the Volkswagen Bug, the yellow Volkswagen Bug. So hopefully someday they'll be worth millions of dollars because nobody else has them because everybody else was smart and bought Transformers.
One can hope, but I doubt it.
I always get on the wrong train. Kind of like my cryptocurrency. I could have bought Bitcoin. I mean, anybody could have, but I mean, somebody was trying to get me to buy in when Bitcoin was like $600. And I'm like, I can't afford $600. I got a family to feed.
Now you're like, darn, could have fed them for days.
Could have been a bazillionaire. No, because I would only bought one Bitcoin, so. But I could have bought myself a new car, I guess. My problem is I don't know when to sell.
Yeah, I was going to sell at one point and would have banked over 10K, and I held on, and now it's worth like 3K.
Well, and then the other one, like the main one that I hold is
Doge?
No, Shiba Inu.
Isn't that basically Doge?
It's Ethereum.
Ethereum.
It's a Dogecoin like knockoff. Like they created it to be a spoof, but it's got a really good following. And at one point, I can't remember off the top of my head how much I've bought. It isn't much. Like I own 17 million of them, but I didn't pay much for them. And at one point, it was worth about $1,400. And I thought, no, I'm gonna hang on to it. And now it's worth like
$14.
$170. I mean, which is still more than I paid for it. I'm still in the profit, but I don't know. Things are always shifting and changing, and I figure for the little bit of money that I have invested, I'm just gonna let it bake. If it goes to nothing, I'm not out much. Wasn't Cabbage Patch Kids the same time frame as Transformers? Probably right around that. Right around that. We still have a Cabbage Patch doll in the house. My mom used to buy all of the grandkids. All the grandkids would get a Cabbage Patch doll, and my nephews, who he's like 100 now. He's in his 30s. He got baby John. His Cabbage Patch doll's name was John, and Xander got one, and his is baby Mark. And you got to watch out for anything named Mark. I just put that out there. I'm just kidding, Mark. But Xander hated that doll, like with a passion. Hated that doll, and I would come home. I would come home from work. It was when I was working at Best Buy, and I would come home, and he would already be asleep. And I would go into his room, and I would find baby Mark, and I would put it in his crib with him. And in the morning, all of a sudden, you'd hear him yell, "No!" And then there was like this thud on the floor.
Oh man.
And I did that to him. I did that to him for years, and he hated that thing. So we were cleaning Zach's room the other night. It's been a couple months ago now, but
The other night.
And I came across baby Mark. And so I went up and put him in Xander's bed, put him on the pillow, and put the blanket on.
Did you need to buy him new underwear?
No, I don't remember what he did with it, but somehow it ended up upstairs, and I put it in his desk chair. I mean, if you can't torment your kids, who can you torment?
Somebody else's kids.
Traumatize your kids early. Yep, that's it.
So I've been trying to figure out, because this is part of the reason why I had to look for my multimeter, how much voltage a regular computer motherboard puts out for the power LED and the hard drive activity LED.
I would think like in the 333 range.
I'm trying to decide whether or not it's safe to pump that into an Arduino, which can handle 3.3 volts.
I would think so. Did you try Googling it?
I did, and it's a lot of people saying I think it would be about, but I never found like a definitive answer. You know.
That's what it's all about.
Yep. That's what it's all about. Let's see if it connected to the Wi-Fi's.
Oh, that's right. I can't do this until I test the board. I can't finish mounting it because these are the heat sinks that these go on each side like this, and then the board sits in here, and all of these triacs get bolted into these heat sinks. But if there's something wrong, it also covers up most of the bottom of the board. So I have to test this, but I'm not set up for Christmas light testing out here. I don't have that on this computer, so I will have to take it into the house and test it. So you guys will not know if it works or not until next week, unless you're a Patreon supporter. No, I'm really bad about updating. I have more updates on the Garage Patreon than I do on the 3D Patreon, and I have 0 patrons on the Garage Patreon. Someday, though. Someday.
You should just combine them.
I should, except for I'm really thinking about just shutting down the 3D one. I feel like I'm not giving people what they're paying for. I just like the $10,000 a month that I earn from it. That's a joke. I don't really get $10,000 a month.
I guess I'm going to give this thing a static IP address because I just there's an app that allows me to monitor on my gateway the IP addresses that have been assigned. And I just clicked on it. It's like, oh, we need you to re-enter username and password. I'm like, I don't remember that.
I do. I have a 16 character password that I use for my router, and I remember what it is. Like, I know it by heart. 16 characters, and it's garbage. It's not, there's no word in there at all.
This is going to be my first device that I make that's going to be internet configurable. Theoretically. Allegedly. It's because it's going to live inside this device. And so I need to be able to, I don't want to have to take it apart. Yeah. You get it.
I do get it because I know what the device is.
Yep.
Because I'm one of your Patreon supporters, so I get to see it.
Have you seen it since the paint job though? Oh, obviously not, because you didn't realize I had painted it.
No.
Let me quickly send you a picture. I think it's definitely the best paint job I've ever done on a 3D printed device. Also, did everybody see I got my Proton Pack? Proton Pack showed up.
Did you share that?
I did tweet it. I could go get it, I guess.
That thing totally looks legit.
Should I go get it?
You should go get it. You were going to go get it, and then you didn't go get it.
It's actually, in theory, is going to sit on this corner here. I'm going to move the shelf up so I can have it as like a background piece during my filming. Even when it has nothing to do with what I'm filming. For what I paid for it, it's going to be part of every video.
That does look super clean.
It is going to get, there's a little bit of roughness. I didn't realize, and like obviously I'm learning, especially learning when you should wet sand. I didn't realize the sandpaper had picked up some of the primer and redeposited it. So I thought everything was nice and smooth, and then I started seeing these little speckles. So I am gonna sand off the top coat where that's happened, get it nice and smooth, and repaint it.
Yeah.
It's stuff that doesn't even show up in camera. But you know, this is something I'm going to be using for the foreseeable future as well.
Right.
So.
Wow. Well, if anybody out there wants to know what it looks like, hit James's Patreon. I'm pretty sure it's in the description.
Oh, probably.
I think I've threatened to do that, but yeah. Your Patreon is linked in the description below. So Glenn Hoke said he saw the Proton Pack.
2 seconds.
James knows that I don't get on the Twitters very often anymore, so he sends me everything directly, and then I don't know what he shared and what he didn't share. Well, it's done. The board is done. And that's what it looks like. So it's got, it connects through network cable. So it's got 2 RJ45s, and then it's got an RJ11 as well. So you can daisy chain out to the next one using an RJ11. Don't know why. I don't use them. Just in and out through the RJ45s. And it's not a network. It's an RS465. So you can actually split. You can split the signal as many times. Well, I won't say as many times as you want, but you can split the signal successfully outside of the controller as well, if need be. Push that heatsink down too far, but yeah, you just in and then back out all through, Cat 5 or equivalent cable, and then there's a USB to RS465 adapter that plugs into the computer that feeds all of this. So, but now it's just a matter of testing it to make sure that it comes on and responds and whatever, and then I have to get the heat sinks mounted, get it mounted into the enclosure, and hook up all of these spade terminals, which isn't too bad. The worst part is routing all of that stuff out of the box and getting it numbered and stuff. So I'll probably work on that next week unless I have a different project come up between now and then.
I'm just trying
Depending
to
on
get
when the parts for my mom's lawnmower shows up, that might be my project for next week. RS485. There you go. Thank you. Okay, you guys are good at spoon feeding me.
I'm just trying to get this thing to turn on lights before I go upstairs and get the proton pack.
And Brian said, "Go get it. Me want to see."
I promise to do that momentarily.
I'm really tired. I'm gonna have to start taking a nap in the middle of the stream. I do have 2 couches in here. I could absolutely just go take a little snooze. I took a 30-minute power nap right before because I knew if I didn't, I was going to be an absolute wreck. And I don't know what we're doing for dinner tonight, but I hope it's good because I'm hungry. I should probably close this picture down so I don't accidentally show it. Be winging my camera around and then. Yeah, so the project that we did in Uncle Ron's truck, the whole project should have taken only about an hour. The instructions were absolutely garbage because the parts were Chinesium. And then with filming, anytime you film anything, it takes longer. And so it was like about 3 hours. About 3.5. So. Oh, and then the insurance guy came. He never even came in my garage. I could have left the trampoline set up, but we just disassembled it so that they couldn't say anything about it. He had this checklist of things, like he had to get a picture of an outlet so that, like to prove that they were grounded outlets. Picture of the water heater, picture of the washing machine, picture of plumbing under the kitchen sink, plumbing under the bathroom sink, pictures around the outside of the house, the fireplace, the air handler. The electrical panels. That's fun because I have 5 of those. But he didn't come in the garage, so he didn't see those 2. But he did take a picture of the 3 in the house. Yeah, it was interesting.
I can't get this to work, and I don't know if there's damage to the LED strip or it's because it's the kind of thing where it's not it's just sending a signal out to the LEDs, but they don't respond, so it doesn't know whether or not they're receiving it. So let's see.
Oh, Brian said you need the 80s jumpsuit. The Ghostbuster jumpsuit.
That seems accurate. Let's see if this will work. It's going to complain about me calling it D8.
So South Florida is trending on Twitter right now because it's so cold. I mean, the biggest problem with it being cold in South Florida is the iguanas. They freeze up and then they fall out of the trees and stuff and lay there and they look like they're dead, but they're not. But it's just funny that South Florida is trending because it's cold. And they didn't even hit freezing this time. Now our freeze last night was only between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. But like I said, at 8 o'clock this morning, it was 29 degrees outside. So And yesterday I was in shorts. I was smart enough to put the truck away last night so that the engine block wouldn't freeze.
I think this is one of those. I don't know if you've run into this, but like on some of the modules that aren't official Arduino modules, it's like, oh yeah, it's labeled like D1 on the board, but D1 on the board translates to like GPIO 0 in the actual back end of it.
Yep.
So then you're specifying GPIO port or GPIO number in code. So then you have to look up the lookup thing to be like, oh yeah, this D pin 1 is or D1 is this and D2 is this and so on and so forth.
Right.
So I'll know in a second if I'm correct.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to yawn. I just. Oof.
Hey, look, I was correct.
Hey, look, you got lights.
I do have lights.
That's what you get for buying knockoff Arduino stuff.
Knock it off, you Arduino.
when I figured out that was the first thing I ever ordered directly out of China was knockoff Arduino Unos. Because I bought two originals from Radio Shack when they were closing out, and I got them for I don't remember, like $30. And then all of a sudden I found out you could buy them through. I can't remember if I bought them through Wish. I think I bought them through Wish for like $6. And I'm like, well, for $6, if they don't work, who cares? And if I don't even get them, who cares? So I ordered 100 of them. No, not really. No, I think I just ordered one just to see, not realizing it would take 9 years for it to get here. No, I got an Amazon delivery. But no, it showed up. I still use that thing to this day. It works fine. I don't do many Arduino projects anymore, but I'd like to do more Pi projects, but we all know how that goes.
Open and close your Pi hole.
Oof.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the proton pack.
Fantastic.
Let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel tired.
What's that?
Bustin' makes me feel tired. Okay.
Bustin' should make you feel good, except for you left your proton pack all the way upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, nobody ever accused me of being a smart man. Okay, I'll be back in a sec.
All right. Yeah, James told me earlier that the reason he didn't bring it down earlier was he was carrying other stuff, and he only has two hands. So when you only have two hands, you can only carry so much. He's not fortunate enough to have additional carriage. But yeah. So, but yeah, if depending on when the parts for my mom's mower arrives, which should just be like tomorrow, if I don't get it done, then I might actually work on that on stream next week. Do a garage stream. Hopefully, it'll be still cool outside, and then it'll be nice in the garage. I would like to do a stream from the garage occasionally, just because it's a change of scenery. But this was the first. It's a Briggs & Stratton engine. It's a couple years old now. I say couple. It's about 5 years old. First time I've ever seen a plastic carburetor on a small engine. You know, they almost all have the same carburetor on them, and you can buy like Chinese replacements for next to nothing. In fact, when the kids' go-karts, when the carburetors would get gummed up, I wouldn't even bother taking them apart to clean them up, because you could buy one for somewhere between $6 and $9 on Amazon and just slap a new one on and away it goes. But this particular Briggs & Stratton mower has a plastic carburetor. The ball, the whole entire body is all plastic. The nice part is it doesn't use gaskets, it uses O-rings. So when you do disassemble it, to clean it or whatever, it doesn't tear the gasket because you got a rubber O-ring in there. The problem is I couldn't figure out how to get the main jet. I couldn't figure out how to get to the main jet on it. And I didn't want to break it. So I found that I could order a new carburetor for about $35, an actual Briggs & Stratton one. So that's coming in, and I'm just going to swap it out, and then I'll break the old one so that I know how to work on those in the future. But otherwise, it needed an air filter, a spark plug, a new blade. I tried to sharpen the blade. It was just too far gone. Florida is very sandy. We don't have dirt here. Everything is sand. And I only get, mowing my property, I only get one season maybe out of a set of blades on my riding mower. And they're just completely eaten at that point. You know, the blades have the little wings on the back to suck the grass up. Those wings are completely gone by the end of the season. So sometimes I end up having to change the blades twice in a season, depending on how good I am at getting out there and mowing the lawn, which I'm typically not good at getting out and mowing the lawn. So sometimes I'll make it the whole season. But yeah, so that's one of my projects, and then I have to deliver that down to her, and she's about an hour and a half away. But it'll be a good run for the truck. It'll be the furthest I've taken the truck since it was back up and running. So we'll see how that goes. I was just rambling.
I had to flip my headset. I turned my mic off because I figured I was going to be struggling all the way down the stairs.
Yeah.
And I was correct. I was.
Well, and then you always have that problem when you're walking down the stairs where you're also, flatulent.
Oh, absolutely. I pooped myself at least 3 times on the way down. Okay. I don't know if you can tell, but this thing it's not stupidly heavy, but it's not light.
No, it's very large.
And in charge. More in charge than large, really.
I'm gonna full screen you. Or at least as full screen as it'll let us go.
So let's see. Where's the on switch now? It's under here somewhere. I'm just gonna do this. There. And
Brian said plastic. Well, how does that not melt? I think it's a composite plastic. I mean, it's I don't know. Even if I get the mower done, I will bring the old one in here next weekend and share it with you guys just so you can see. But yeah, I was telling them that my mom's mower, the carburetor is plastic on it.
Really?
I've never seen a plastic carburetor on a mower before, and it's a Briggs & Stratton.
Go figure. I wonder if
that is so fancy.
I'm hoping it'll sit up here. I need to tighten up the bands and stuff on it probably. I would like not to drop it more than anything.
Yeah, of course.
I would rather make some joke about I'd rather drop a baby, but not exactly the truth, but not far off.
Duff said no different than plastic fuel filters. Yeah, except for the fuel filter's not touching. Well, it's not supposed to be touching the engine. It's in your fuel line. This is bolted to the side of the head. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. The engine is it's a guaranteed start, except for right now it wouldn't start, but that's because the fuel was bad. And then I took it all out of there and found water in the gas tank. But it's auto choke, so you don't have to choke it. There's no primer bulb. It's crazy. It's not like anything I've ever seen on a small engine, but it is the intake side though. Yeah, but it's still an air-cooled engine and the head is still hot. I mean, run your lawnmower and grab hold of the intake side of the head. It's still going to be hot.
I should have made room for this before I came downstairs.
Yeah, probably.
It is physically bigger than I was expecting it to be, first of all.
Well, yeah, it's got to be the size of your back. It's a backpack.
It's
a backpack. And it came with the stand?
Yeah, it was kind of like a Kickstarter thing. Oh, hold on. I opened something. Am I still transmitting?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. I opened a print screen, apparently.
And he's gone. I don't know what he opened up, but he's completely gone. He's not even in the green room at this point. Oh, it's always fun when your co-host is unexpectedly absent. I believe he Alt F4'd on the wrong window. Because if you go back and watch that clip, boop, and it was just gone. PA6 glass reinforced. Could be. Could definitely be. It just caught me off guard that it was plastic. Hey, there you are. Little Alt F4 action.
I tapped escape at a time when I probably shouldn't have tapped escape. But okay, let me see now that it's on the stand properly, how close I can get it to actually fitting over here. I'm thinking not.
It's so tall.
Yeah, it hits there's a shelf there, and it's hitting the top of the shelf. There's just unfortunately no great way to show this off over here. But you know, there's, I don't know if I can slide this back anymore to give it a little more. And then it's got the thrower on it. It came with a cable to attach the one that I got a few weeks ago. This isn't really the way it's meant to be held, so none of this is going fantastically, but you know. And I think this is supposed to turn the pack back on. You know, or not.
Or not.
Well, ain't that a kick in the head? Well, isn't it just lovely? There. Everybody got to see nearly 70% of it. Great. The bottom half looks fantastic. Where are you? Switch. Okay, and then we just... So there's no batteries in the particle thrower anymore. It's all powered from the proton pack. And then you get the idea.
That's pretty cool. It looks legit.
And you'll see after I turned this off, it shut down the pack. And then if I turn it back on from here, turns the pack back on.
Which makes sense, because if you're wearing it on your back, you can shut it off to save battery life.
I'm just going to unscrew. So the funny thing is, to make it work, the cable, or the cord has cables running through it, and they made a mold of the battery holder that goes into it. So
yeah.
So, and then it just runs the wires to the same spot as the contacts on the batteries.
Yeah, like a battery faker.
Exactly. And then there's extra settings that you have to disassemble part of it to get to them. So you remove the center bolt here, that slides out, and then you take the bumper off.
And you said this was a Kickstarter?
It's kind of like Kickstarter, but so it's called Hasbro Pulse. So I think like everything they do is guaranteed to run, and it's being backed by a company versus it being like, you know, random company. Well, I guess a lot of Kickstarters are too, but you get the idea.
Right.
And then this just comes off the middle.
Like a pre-order.
It's almost like a pre-order, yeah. But they also do like, so basically it's like if we hit this many pre-orders, you get this extra item or what have you.
Gotcha.
So that comes off the front, and then there's additional configuration switches here. So there's a rumble pack that's built into it that you can switch it on. And then there's another one that puts it into what do they call it? Afterlife mode. So the pack in Afterlife was kind of like a supercharged proton pack. And this is actually modeled after that one. That's why it's all like tarnished and beaten up looking, and there's some different parts on it. It's the one from Afterlife, not the one from the original movies. So if we put that into Afterlife mode with the rumble on, and then we'll get the particle thrower put back into place. As soon as I get this wired in properly, 2 seconds. Then hopefully, no, I think it puts it into like a full shutdown if you take it apart. Probably makes sense. So I don't know if you can hear that vibration.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the lights, they're cycling a lot faster. I wonder if anything's different with this now. The vibrations from the pack are actually changing along with the pushing of the activator button.
Huh.
Anyways,
That's pretty cool.
I like it. It's certainly not just a toy.
It's a collectible.
Did you see somebody responded to my post with like I don't know why anybody would want a non-working prop with a bunch of LED lights for special effects. I replied with, well, if you can tell me where to get a legitimate one, I'd be happy to upgrade.
I've probably told this story before, but back in the days when I worked at Best Buy, the LED TVs were new at that point. And that tells you how long ago it was that I worked at Best Buy.
Couple weeks.
But we always played the Transformer movies because the colors on them were so vivid on an LED TV. And there was a guy standing there staring at the movie, and I walked over and I said, "It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah, they look fake though." And so I kind of looked over at him for a minute, and I looked back at the TV, and I looked over. I said, "You do know they are fake, right? We don't actually have those."
Well, you know, he worked for a government op that knew different. Get this bad boy back onto its stand.
Those don't even remotely look like the real ones that we have at work.
There, now you can just see the top part of the proton pack.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to differentiate between that and is that Dr. Pepper you got there, or Cherry Coke?
Coke Zero.
Oh, Coke Zero.
There you go. Now you can see a little bit more of it.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess what I could do. Oh, no, I can't because the secret project's down there.
Elon Musk tweeted, "Instagram makes people depressed and Twitter makes people angry. Which is better?"
And the answer, of course, was neither.
He didn't make it a poll, though. That would have been way funnier. Oh, good times, good times. Yeah, I just updated my Twitter feed, and there's the picture of your proton pack.
It's just the coolest thing ever, don't you know?
Oh, well, I feel like I have idle hands now that I'm done with my project.
I'm trying to figure out how the HTTP server on this works because I used an example. And I thought, oh, I'll just be able to go in and modify the web page, but I think the web page might be a contained module somewhere else.
Let's
see.
Well, Brian said Cummins needs to make a lawnmower. That'd be a heavy mower. They don't make a light anything. Even that 4-cylinder diesel that they put in the Nissan trucks, holy crap, that thing's heavy. Oh, well, I'm pleased that I finally got all that done. Only took what, three streams?
Yep.
So, and I'm sure I didn't work on it consistently, so we'll say 5 hours. Well, that's all right. It's busy work. Oh, sorry for the yawning. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which is worse, the lingering cough or the lingering fatigue.
Yes.
But so for like a week after, I would get up in the morning, and to make it to my desk upstairs, I would have to sit down twice before I even got to the stairs. Like I would walk across the kitchen and I'd have to sit down. And then I'd walk across the living room and I'd have to sit down. And then once I got up the stairs, I had to sit down before I could even turn my monitors on and stuff. So now I can make it from bed to work in one shot. But I was telling James before the stream, I get about halfway through the day and it's just like the fatigue has set in so badly. So, and then I've been having my coworker like double check any of my manual math. I've got it set up where the computer does most of that, but anything that I've had to manually calculate, I always have somebody double check me because my brain is foggy. So COVID is no joke. I think we need to go back to being isolated, like where we stayed home. Then I can go to the store and nobody will be there. It was great. I miss those days. Yeah, Saturday I had to run. I always buy Walmart EverStart batteries. They're actually a really good battery. They're made by Johnson Controls. But I don't shop Walmart typically ever. So I always just I go in the auto center, get what I need and get out of there. But the place was so crazy. Like the parking lot was so crazy. And then from there I had to go to Publix and pick up some prescriptions, and Publix was crazy. And then I had to go to Target. So Lego releases their blind bag minifigures, the mystery minifigs.
Yep.
And the Series 24 right now has a classic space with a baby. But the classic space is brown, and they've never made a brown one before. I'll see if I can pull this up and share it. So I went on a quest on Saturday to our Target to try to find it, and no luck. They only had like 15 of them out on the shelf. Let's see. Let's do some. Oh, now it's called present. It's no longer called screen share. You have to click present. Boom. So that's it right there. Classic space in brown, which just blows my mind. And then the fact that they have a baby, like with oxygen tank, which is absolutely brilliant. So I am on a quest to find those. So I had to go into Target, and Target was just nutty. Brian said, I'd love to see Cummins in something else besides Dodge. Cummins puts their engines in a lot of things. That's the cool thing about Cummins engines. They're made to be adapted over to all kinds of stuff. School buses, dump trucks, the big Ford trucks, like, anything that's got like a dump truck size cab on it could possibly be a Cummins. They make the 4BT, which is a 4-cylinder, and then they made a 4-cylinder diesel that went into the Nissans. I think they just discontinued them though. I don't think they're going to be making them anymore. But you know, and then there's like some crazy people that put them in Ford pickup trucks. I don't know anything about that, but and then I'm still really contemplating on putting one in my 66 Thunderbird because I think that would be brilliant. But yeah, Cummins is on the edge of making a. Well, I mean, they supposedly have it. They have built an engine that is multi-fueled. You have to change the head depending on what fuel you're going to run, but it'll run gasoline, diesel, or hydrogen. You know, I mean, that just seems like a wonderful idea, the whole hydrogen thing, but how'd that work out for the Hindenburg?
Explosive decompression.
But I guess it's really no worse than driving around with a large lithium battery in your car. Those lithium batteries can definitely cause some fires.
They can set fire to the rain.
Yeah, if you've never gone out, go to YouTube and Google like explosive lithium battery, where somebody they'll take a nail and they'll hammer a nail through the battery and then they like run away. The fire that comes out of that, it's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. And yet, you know, we walk around with them in our pocket. Note 8. Or was that the Note 7? I think that was the Note 7, wasn't it? That was blowing up in people's pants pocket.
That is correct.
Yeah. What a fun time that was.
Fun time with the King in 3D.
Just those hot stuff. Diesel runaway videos are fun too. Oh no, those give me nightmares. You know why they call them diesel runaways? Because as soon as it starts happening, you just run away. Brian says, I have a Lego store. Yay. I have a Lego store too. It's actually in Legoland. Which might be my only option to go find one of these. Because as you guys know, I'm crazy about classic space.
Spaceship?
Spaceship! I said that could be like Baby Benny.
Baby Benny, oh.
Oh, I'm tired.
I am Groot.
My back has been hurting terribly for the last couple of days.
I just tried a small change to what I think is the web host, so we'll see if it changes the. I mean, you guys won't see because I won't be able to show you, but because my whole plan is to basically just take the web page that's provided in the example and then modify it to do what I wanted it to.
Right, of course.
That is the. Yeah, that worked.
Well, that means you're on the right track. Brian said, what if Toyota got a Cummins? So, I mean, I'm old school. So every time I think about Toyota, I think about a mini truck. You know, and I realize that like the Toyota, the Tundras and stuff are huge. So it would be very possible. The problem is most people when they buy a truck buy a 4-wheel drive so that they have some off-roading capability. And diesels are freaking heavy. And so then you go to take that off-road. I've had my truck stuck like 3 or 4 times, but it's always the front end that gets stuck. Like the front end just sinks in the sand. Again, Florida's sand. So like I would go to hook up to my 5th wheel and try to get the truck, you know, like angled in right, and the front would get stuck. And then I would have to get my neighbor to come over and pull me out with his Dodge, which was, who knew? But so that's really the downside to the diesel. Plus, it's ridiculous what they've done to diesel fuel as far as pricing. You know, diesel used to be the go-to because it was junk fuel. The fuel was made from byproduct of making gasoline. And so diesel was, next to free, but not anymore. No, now they stick it to you. Now you get a half a tank for $100.
and you'll like it.
Well, and like I had a crowd standing around me going, like they were going, go, 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 go. And then when I hit the 100, they were all like, woo! Okay, that didn't really happen. But I don't know. Like at the point that you put $100 worth of fuel in anything, like you should get a free drink or something. Like you should get some free hot dog. Didn't they used to do that? You get like free hot dog with minimum 8-gallon fill up. In fact, if I remember right, there's a joke about that in Super Troopers. He was trying to get the free hot dog, and the car wouldn't quite take enough, and so he like pumped it into the garbage can. I think that was Super Troopers.
Yeah, I think there's a scene where he's trying to get something for free.
Wasn't that
it's
Farva?
Like, sounds about right.
And he just like kind of pumped some into the garbage can to
push himself over the limit.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I need to watch it again. Oh, we have 10 people watching.
10 people just watching us be nerds.
Yep. Not enough people talking, though.
Not that we're not thankful for those who are talking.
No, exactly. So what do you guys think, you guys in the audience, think about doing a segment where you can submit your projects? Like I can create an email address specifically for that. And then you can, shoot us over some photos or video or whatever. And then we can share your projects.
And talk about them.
Yeah. We'll give you our commentary, whether you like it or not. And remember, I'm a very painfully honest person. So if your stuff is sucky, I'm going to say so.
It's funny because it's true.
You better hope that you do well on your project and that I don't feel I could do better, because I'll tell you that. No. Well, that's nice, but I could do it better. Could use a Twitter tag for that. True, yeah. I think that's how they do with hot makes, isn't it?
Is hot make still going?
I don't know. I know it used to. I don't know. It changed hands a couple of times. But I don't know. The email would be easier for me to keep track of it. I mean, I guess if you search that hashtag. Listen, I don't want it to add a lot of work to my side. I don't want to have to work for your love. We'd still like to have guest hosts on occasionally too. It just seems that nobody's interested in guest hosting. It's like people are afraid to be live on YouTube. It's not bad. It's just that first initial 30 seconds that's, full of anxiety. After that, it just doesn't even matter. You got to be kind of you got to be the kind of person that doesn't, I won't say doesn't care what you say, because I care what James says, him and his potty mouth. But just give us the login and we'll stream our stuff for you. Well, I mean, that is another option. Like I can give out the link to the stream, like the back end, because you can't just pop in. It's still controlled by me. So, I mean, if people want to do it that way, if you guys want to come on the stream, we can arrange for that. Obviously, there's, some stipulations with that, because if you use the naughty's language, then I'm going to have to be kicking you off. Can't be having any of that.
We're no nonsense around here.
A show and tell. Absolutely. I mean, the point of these streams was to talk about projects, and we don't really talk about them. We just kind of do our own little projects. I mean, I guess we talk about them during, but we'd like to get the audience more involved. So I guess we'll see how all of that goes.
I redesigned the circuit board that powers the 3D printed arcade robot for a future project. And I just realized that I haven't actually soldered any of them up yet. So that's a good thing to do with 1 minute remaining in the stream, I think.
Yeah, how fast can you solder?
Not that fast, but maybe I can get the DC barrel jack installed.
Well, I'm gonna put that footage together that I filmed this week and try to get that video out. I said I might just compress it into a short. I mean, if there's enough there to make a video, I still might make a short out of it as well.
Oh, you mean a TikTok?
Yeah. Nope, that will never happen. You will never find me on TikTok. And I know they say never, but
Well, I mean, if it's ever not owned by the Chinese government and your data is safe, then
yeah, that would be the only way, and that's not going to happen. So I do need to start doing more with my Instagram. I have a really hard time with Instagram. I try, or I should say I tried, but
I tried
I
so
don't know.
hard.
I
and
almost
got
need
so
to
far.
hire. I need to hire a social media manager. The parameters of that job are long hours, low pay, and no chance for advancement. So, and by low pay, I mean no pay.
Just pay and exposure points like everybody else these days.
That's right. Yeah. It would let other people know how good you are at social media. I don't know, but that'll all come to fruition eventually. For whatever reason, the automotive community leans more towards Instagram, which in a way makes sense because car people are all about pictures, showing pictures of their cars and stuff. But where I do video, I have to get better about snapping pictures. I mean, it's real hard. It's pushing one extra button while I'm filming.
Well, it's
But
time for that.
yeah, that's just it. Yeah. So again, at some point, I will have a camera slinger, which will up everything tremendously, because then they can be worried about that, and I can yell at them when they don't do it right. But
do you want your cookies? Because you get no cookies if you don't do it right.
No cookies for you. Well, and the thing is I mean, I have somebody who has intentions on coming over to help, but hasn't. I mean, he's got a life too. Like, I can't expect him to give up time. Plus, through the holidays has been hard. I haven't been doing a lot of work in the garage lately anyway, but
A little too much RDR, right?
I want to see Glenn restore an amphibicar. I had a friend that had a couple of those.
My grandfather had a Terrajet.
Yeah, I'll restore one. Send one to me, Brian, and I will. I'll get right on that. I have Uncle Ron's old pickup truck here. So when Uncle Ron, I don't know if I should be telling this, but I'm going to tell it anyway. When Uncle Ron gets a truck, he leases them, and then he buys them out at the end of the lease. So at the point that he went to get his new one, his old one, they weren't going to give him anything for it because it's a New York truck. It's completely just rotted out. In fact, I had it here for a while because the brake lines rotted out. Shane was coming over because he used to drive it when he lived here. And he was coming over and he went to push the brake pedal and the pedal went all the way to the floor and he had no brakes. because the brake line had just disintegrated. So, but it's here because it needed a place to live, and where better than my junkyard. But
out in the what's he call it? The lane row?
out in tree row.
Yeah, tree row.
No, it's actually parked back by my impound yard. But I told Uncle Ron that if as time allows, not if time allows, but as time allows, I'll fix different things on it and stuff, and that maybe we could come up with a project for it, because it is 4-wheel drive. So maybe we turn it into a woods truck, or whatever. It's here, and it's only costing them basic insurance and a tag every year. So it's a Dodge, but it's not a Cummins. I told Uncle Ron, I said, if that truck was a diesel, you'd come back and that engine would be missing. Because I'd put it in something else. But no, I have plenty of projects lined up. I just got to get rolling on them. One of which I have somebody else waiting on me, so I really should shift over to that one next. But honestly, what I need is somebody else to edit my videos. I hate editing. It's so time consuming. So, hey, there's Uncle Ron. Did you make it home, Ron? I mean, you showed up late, but at least you showed up. He must have heard me talking about him.
His ears were burning?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm going to try to have a video out this week, if not next week for sure. I got to get back into the videos.
The videos?
11:50 last night. That's pretty good. You left yesterday morning, didn't you? That's pretty good. Of course, he probably left at like 2 a.m. You know how those old people are.
Full of prunes?
I am at 407 subscribers on the Garage channel now, which is stupidly impressive to me. Left about 5. Well, that's pretty good run then. Yeah, you did a good job on that.
Well, I'm gonna call it halfway through the soldering job because I just saw what time it is.
Yeah, 6:36. So, Ron, without giving it away, are all the parts still on the truck now that you made it home? I'm telling you, those instructions were garbage, and the hardware left a lot to be desired. But after everything was tightened up, they were sturdy. So, well, do you have anything that you want to promote?
No, it'll be a little bit longer until that project comes out, but hopefully not too much longer. It'll definitely be out before, I would say, mid to end of February. It'll be for sure out by.
And nothing in between. You're not gonna release little things in between.
I don't think so. One of the things I've been working on, I've run into issues with, so it might end up being an after the fact thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you?
No, just gonna try to get something out on the Garage channel. We're still trying to figure out the logistics behind getting Zach out here. That poor kid, by the time he gets done with school in the afternoon and then his homework, he's just absolutely wrecked and doesn't want to do anything. And I can understand.
Been there.
With his ADHD, he has a really hard time in school. His school is only like 35 students in the whole school, and it's a K through 12 school.
Mm-hmm.
So like typical class sizes are small, but his is the largest. I want to say that his class is like 10 kids. So and I realize that's not big for a typical classroom, but he gets distracted very easily. And everybody learns differently, and he doesn't seem to mesh with his teacher very well. So I end up reteaching him a lot of stuff when he gets home, as far as like math and stuff goes, because I'm a math guy. So but you know, I don't know. We'll still work on getting him out here. I think that if I can get him to sit down long enough to show him how to do his own slicing and 3D printing, that he'll be hooked.
Right.
And then he'll just want to print. And he doesn't even have to come out here for that. I mean, I have more printers upstairs. I can put one on his desk so he can just do it up there. He'll just have to run back and forth for the filament. But 1 + 1 is 3 or 11. But no, again, I'm gonna try to have a video out this week, if not next week. I am still working on the Christmas light video. I will let you all know when that is done. Again, I just have not been. I haven't been me.
I think it's understandable.
Yeah, by like 3:01 in the afternoon, I go and I lay down usually for an hour. I get off of work at 3, for those of you who don't know. So, but and then I have 1,000 things to do around here at the house as well. So, and now we're going to get back into lawn mowing season, which is going to suck. So, but
Not if you keep getting cold snaps like that one.
no, that'd be nice. Be nice, yeah. I mean, I don't want it to be 29, but cooler is always better. So that's it then. Got nothing.
Got nothing.
All right. So that brings us to the point where I say thank you to each and every one of you guys for showing up. We appreciate you. Do keep in mind that that James and I are going to keep discussing some changes to the show and possibly a scheduling change as well. So we will figure all of that out. We would like to consider everybody in that, but you know, that doesn't always work. And the only other alternative is to stop doing it altogether. And obviously we don't want to do that either. So, but we will keep you apprised. We do thank you for showing up. We love each and every one of you. And until next time, as always,
Print on.